A week we've had to wait for this appointment and still she keeps us hanging round.
I know.
I said I were back in work by 10. What's she like?
Who, the boss?
Yeah.
Same as any other boss.
Hey, I'm the boss in our place.
Apart from you.
Well, she might be your boss, but I'm still going to give her a piece of my mind. I don't care if you just give your use of the gym for footy practice.
Yeah, we still have to pay for it. We just get it a bit cheaper, that's all. Besides, she's always banging on about the school being a community resource. Well, I'm part of the community, so...
Well, it's time she made it more like a resource and less like a battleground for kids like our Anthony.
Oh, Marty.
All right, Jill. This is my wife, Diane.
Pleased to meet you. Sorry to keep you waiting.
Oh, it's all right, no problem.
Won't be long.
Why did I say it was all right? She's only the headmistress. It's not as if she's a nun or anything.
It's been going on ever since they came here. They were expelled from Blessed Rodney Bennett, apparently. So that proves the bad news.
Our Anthony wouldn't hurt a fly, and they're making his life an absolute misery. And your anti-bullying strategy has been less than useless so far.
Well, to be fair, we can't do anything until we know there's a problem. If a member of staff had actually witnessed...
Marty witnessed it.
Was this when you shoved Imelda Clough in the street?
No, he saw them hitting our Anthony at school 3 weeks ago.
Did he fill in an incident sheet?
No.
Why not?
Our son's life's being ruined here, and you want him to fill out a form.
I know it sounds like unnecessary bureaucracy.
You people are always complaining about paperwork.
Once a sheet has been filled in, it goes to the head of year. He then informs the parents.
I am the parent. You want me to fill in a form to give to Paul O'Brien so he can tell me about something I already know?
No, obviously not. But Paul would then tell Anthony's form tutor. The form tutor would have a chat with Imelda and Paige.
A chat? What do you mean, a chat?
They'd be told that their behaviour is unacceptable.
But would they be punished?
Oh, yeah, certainly they would. Yeah, they could be given detention or extra work, but the important thing would be to come to an agreement with them that the bullying has to stop.
An agreement? Police don't agree to stop. They have to be forced. And it's your job to force them.
We can only take a single incident so far, but once we've got evidence of persistent bullying, then we can begin what we call a pupil support programme.
And what's that?
Well, first of all, every teacher is told about the problem.
I don't want everyone in the staff room knowing our auntie's being bullied by girls.
But Marty, if you want us to deal with it, we've got to know it's happening. At no stage would any teacher do anything to highlight Anthony.
They'll be laughing at him, though, behind his back.
But once they know the situation, they can take certain practical measures. Make sure Imelda and Paige never sit together, for example. That neither of them go anywhere near Anthony.
It doesn't happen during lessons. Most of the time it kicks off outside the class because the teacher's late.
If your staff could just get there on time...
Oh, it's happening outside the school.
Well, there's not a lot I can do about that. I'd normally tell the parents that if an assault happened off school premises, they should go to the police. I'd then warn the bully and the bully's parents that this is what would happen if the incident reoccurred. But unfortunately, if I'd said that to Imelda Clough's parents at the time, she'd have come right back at me with, "But that's the caretaker that assaulted my Imelda."
He just shoved her to get her off Anthony.
Oh, yeah, sure. But they'll call it a personal vendetta, won't they? I've had parents sit in that chair time and time again. My girl's not like that. No, she's a good girl. That caretaker's got it in for her. It's a clash of personalities. And that's when I hand over the incident sheets. Different dates, different members of staff, different incidents, all recorded. Facts and figures. And that's what has the effect. That's when they start listening. That's what the bureaucracy's for.
Yeah. All right. You've made your point. I wish I hadn't shoved and I wish I'd filled in a form instead, but it's done now.
We'll put Imelda and Paige on what we call conduct reports. Every teacher at the end of every class fills in a report on how they've behaved. They're closely monitored for 2 weeks. Then the parents come in again and hopefully the child thrusts the report in my face and says, there, I told you. Told you I was a good kid. Told you I wasn't a bully. And I look and I say, oh, yeah, I see. Sorry. And I smile to myself and think, problem solved.
For 2 weeks.
But if that doesn't work, if the conduct reports aren't satisfactory, they go on what's called target sheets.
Oh, for crying out loud, more forms. My son sobbed himself to sleep last night. Why can't you just get rid of the evil little monsters?
Because it'll cost them money, that's why.
Because every child has a right to an education.
Not if they're ruining everyone else's education.
If I exclude them today, they'll appeal against their exclusions tomorrow. And unless I've got all the proper procedures in place, they'll win their appeals.
I don't believe this.
That's why we need all this information. Incident sheets, conduct reports, target sheets, etc. So, the next thing that happens is they'll go into isolation. They'll be taken out of their class and they'll be taught one-to-one by a learning mentor.
Special treatment, you mean?
Well, they'll have to be kept in at break times. They'll have to have their dinner with the teacher. So, the next step is to get in the Education Welfare Officer. That's an external specialist. And all the time we'll be saying to them and their parents, look, this is getting more and more serious. If you don't start behaving, you're going to be excluded. And if they're still not listening, then they go in front of a disciplinary panel.
Oh, I've heard enough of this.
No, you haven't, Mrs. Murray.
It's delaying tactics. You're just avoiding the issue.
Your husband's the school caretaker. That's an issue too. If he'd kept his temper under control.
I was defending me son.
If you'd kept your temper under control, I would already have seen the parents. But we decided on a wait-and-see policy for the sake of your job, remember?
Keep an eye on them, we decided. Not wait and see.
Yes, but if you'd told us about it when you first found out, the PSP would already be in place now.
We've gone over this.
Sure. I'm just making the point that any delay isn't only the fault of the school.
What's the disciplinary panel? Can they get rid of them?
It's the head of year. It's the form teacher, various other teachers, the education welfare officer, parents. It's a small court, serious stuff. We negotiate new targets. We all agree easily achievable. Get your homework in on time, don't chew in class, stay away from Anthony Murray. And if that doesn't work, then we go to the governors and we say, look, we've done this, and this. Here's all the evidence. Nothing's worked. These kids have got to go.
But that could take months. My son could be getting tortured for months.
No. If we all work together and keep each other informed, we could solve this problem in no time.
Well, all I can say is I better get results, and quick. Because I'm not going to let this lie. How come the first school could expel them so fast? That's what I want to know.
Well, he probably didn't. Our place probably did a deal with them. Give us your bullies, it'll keep our numbers up. The whole thing is about money and PR. She could have got shut of them if she'd wanted. But then the council would have fined her, and every single kid that she expels shows on a league table, which is bad for the school image, isn't it?
Do you think any of these things you talked about will work?
See, they might work, but then everybody's got to do their jobs. And half of the teachers in that place, well, he wouldn't be bothered to fill in the forms and that.
You can talk.
Oh, don't start. Listen, at least we got things moving. If the school pulls their weight and we do things at our end, well, let's just see what happens.
Yeah. Fingers crossed, eh?